Alright, everyone. We are back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Joel, your chief host of the show, and joining me is none other than my co-host, Noble.
Well, I'd say good morning, but I need to get a few more layers on.
Felt freezing, huh?
Unfortunately.
Ugh, it's never fun. I've been having it very inconsistent, and it's just not the dingo.
The joys of Australian weather.
Yeah, right? Like, one moment it's just extreme, one moment it's the opposite way around, inconsistent. Again, I always want to say it's hormonal.
I think I really need to pull out that magic 8 ball again.
Hey, you
No,
should. I haven't seen that.
At this point, I swear somebody could make a joke about you being the next that kind of thingo, the new age of gypsies.
Well, I do have a couple of decks of tarot cards.
Yeah, that would work. I guess now all that's left is to find a suitable outfit for you. That's thematically appropriate, I guess.
Oh, I could whip something up easily enough.
Well, it's got to have thematics. It's got to have some sort of aesthetic that harkens to the gypsies of old. And then I will say it is convincing. So yes. Anywho, joining us on the show, we have Avira.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's the candy corn doggo. I'm in a pretty good mood today, albeit rather tired, because insomnia's been catching up to me like a bitch, but it is what it is. And, I hope everyone had a really nice Easter. I know we didn't have an episode last week, because everyone was pretty much like with family and stuff. But
Easter is one of those times, yes.
Yeah, so it is spring now. It's like, the second week of April? And I know for you guys, like, you're farther south than I am further north. So I think, like, when the seasons change, it gets, like, more, like, erratic down there. So we're approaching spring, but just the other day, I'm not even kidding, it was 34 degrees out. And the 2 days before that, it was, like, 72. So it's still kind of back and forth up here. We're still trying to stabilize. Overcast all day today, so.
Fun times. But yes, you're right though. To get back into the stuff of last week, we know Easter will have came and went, and I hope your Easter was actually it was filled with good things and knowing what it really meant.
Oh, it was, yeah. That's for sure. I was with some family, me, my dad, aunt and uncle, and of course my great aunt, who I'm sure the show already knows is over 103 years old. And she had a really great time. We were making jokes, laughing. She was, just all there and with it, having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we said this a few years ago, like, we don't really know how many more Easters or Christmases, holidays, or even any time we're going to really have with her. So, moments like this, it's really important to be close to family, because you don't know how long they're going to be here. For my great aunt, though, I think she's going to be around forever. So we'll see. It was a really nice time, though. How about you, Noble? Did you have a good Easter?
Well, I learnt the hard way that I shouldn't eat like I used to.
Oh, okay. What'd you have?
I had some. No, I had some food allergies I learnt about recently, and well, I decided to eat what I usually ate around Easter previously, and it sort of hit me hard afterwards.
Oh, goodness. Hopefully nothing serious, like hives and throat closing and dangerous stuff like that, or is it more like lactose?
No, it was just more discomfort for a couple of days.
Yeah, that could do it. Well, but aside from that, I mean, because you're talking about afterwards, like, how was the actual holiday itself? Like, did you have a good time and do all the traditions and stuff like that?
For the most part.
Nice. Nice. And so Jolt, I know you weren't here last week either. Like, what did you
Yeah.
do?
We ended up having a lot of church stuff, and which was great, and because we had a lot of feasting, and on Easter Sunday, we went out to have it in a waterfront function area, and all that. So it made for a really nice backdrop and a real big
Oh.
breath of fresh air.
Yeah, it's really cool that like your churches, you're very they're very good with the community. They have a lot of outreach and stuff like that, so it's pretty close.
It's
Not so much where I live,
it's
but
more of like we it's more of like a because we're an ethnic church, we we do the food thing really, really, really well. I dare say you Westerners should take notes from us.
Okay.
Yes. But I think the most
What?
important thing, there always one more, the most important, significant item of Easter that that it is my divine right to share. An an oldie but a goodie from a couple of years back.
Oh wow, that's a nice shot. That's a huge cross.
Very.
Where was that located?
Oh, that's okay. Somewhere in the state of Victoria, actually, in a mountain.
Well, knowing how things are there at the moment, I would be concerned about the sword actually falling off the cross.
Oh no, you don't have to worry about that.
I'm guessing this thing is probably at least 25, maybe 30 feet tall.
Quite. And even
Wow.
then, you know what? No, you don't have to worry. If the sword actually does fall off the cross, like it actually doubles up as something utilitarian. But nah, no, right though. Just I am, of course, here to make sure that you do not forget the significance of Easter.
Yes, it is very important. Aside from the bunny and the eggs and the chocolate, we all know that Jesus rose from the dead after 3 days from being crucified. And can you just imagine the look on people's faces when he came back and they were like, "Oh, we screwed up." Okay. He walked around like in public and holy crap, people must have been freaking out.
Yeah, the reaction to that story, if you were there in person witnessing it firsthand, it would just, it would
Yeah.
be something else.
One of the many miracles. Now, before this, Jesus had already raised Lazarus from the dead, and there were dozens of witnesses to see that. Some of them screamed and cried, and others were just like, "Yep, that's God right there. Okay, I believe you now."
Yeah.
So, let's do some quick trivia. Do you know how long Jesus was? How long he walked the earth after he was resurrected?
40. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head the exact number, like post resurrection, and before he left the earth.
I think you almost said it. Noble, any guesses?
I thought it was a day.
Think Noah's Ark. 40. Yep, 40 days.
I was about to say as much following that. That's why we have the season that's named Pentecost following Easter.
Yeah, you almost said it in the beginning too. It's pretty cool. I guess 40 is an important number, just for Noah and Jesus too, thousands of years later.
It's a number of significance too. Like it's a number. It's the number 40 basically signifies trials and testing and that. Why do you think a lot of the time that a lot of it has been used in many stories of numbers? It's a recurring motif. Jesus spent 40 days in the wilderness being tempted by all evils.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So that's why even 2,026 years later, we celebrate that. Really fascinating, because afterwards, when he ascended to heaven, all the apostles, they went out across the world, like into like Europe, east into Asia, like all over, to spread the word. Unfortunately, most of them, almost all of them, met pretty grisly endings, being beheaded, flayed alive, all kinds of horrific ends.
Yes. But in the
Believing
end, though,
angels are
the message
divine.
still it still got through, and it still endures even to this day. And all of the work, the pioneering work, was bore fruit.
Yeah. And all those apostles who were, tortured to death, they would never, ever renounce their belief in Jesus, because like they were there. They saw all the miracles that he did, the blind, the deaf, and the everything. Well, I don't know about the deaf, if he did one of those before. But yeah, incredible stuff. I don't know where the Easter Bunny came from. That's a little.
I mean, it seems to be like the one thing I kind of have a disservice from. It's more like when Constantine basically Christianized the old pagan traditions that the Romans did.
Okay. There is
Or
one important fact
seemingly that what's it called? That Easter was basically like the anglicization of an old pagan thing called Ishtar, and Ishtar seemingly must have taken the form of but anyway, but that's more of an academic thing.
Yeah, well, I guess there's just one important fact I wanted to just shed light onto, and it does relate to what we're going to be talking about later. The whole concept of the rainbow. So when Jesus was resurrected, there was a double rainbow all across the sky, right? So that was pretty much the sign of like rebirth and all that. It was a Christian symbol originally.
Yeah.
The rainbow.
Of course, that represented the covenant of God with his people, even dating back to the days of the Old Testament.
Yeah, that's right. Because like, how do you explain that? 2,000 years ago, you see like a beam of light across the sky of all colors. Like, it's kind of magical. They didn't have like the science to explain it, and it was more or less like a miracle.
Yeah, like this was a fulfillment of God, God's promise, even after from even the days of like Noah's Ark. Remember that story? Yeah.
Oh, of course. Wasn't there one after that too? There was a rainbow after the storm stopped and Noah's like the ark kind of landed like on Mount Ararat, I believe, and then there was a rainbow after that too.
Yes.
Maybe I'm getting confused. I think was that the only time there was a rainbow? Was Jesus' resurrection?
Yeah, there
I think there
is,
was
and then and of course, like the point was that it's always been as a thing of a symbol of God's covenant with His people, and
that's right.
And nowadays, it's just been a We'll get to this a bit more later on in today's episode, but it is absolutely something that God will have His rainbow back.
Amen.
Yeah. For the purpose that that He intended, and no amount of defilement can take it away from it. Simple as that.
Yeah, it has been hijacked by the wackadoodle alphabet mafia, so hopefully we'll take it back from what they've taken one day.
Yes. Well, regardless of that, though, to all of you listening, I hope your Easter was also a fruitful one, full of full of good times and celebration, and and a lot of rest and an observation of the great miracle.
Right on. Right on.
But yeah. So, okay, now we've got some stuff to get on to with the show now, and like we said, it's been a bit of a quiet couple of weeks, I love my quiet. We all do. And of course, like you already know, right? Like over the past couple of weeks, everybody's been talking about, everyone on the news has been talking about one thing only, you know, about the whole
Oh,
war in Iran thing. But that's not our job here.
yeah, it's too far away for me.
Yeah, not a problem though. Only thing is though, since we are, of the grown up kind, how have petrol prices been for you?
Ah, boy. So the last I checked on the corner gas station, it's about $4.10 per gallon, and it's up to $6.22 for diesel.
Oh yeah, like 50%
So
more just to pay for diesel. Yeah, no, that's not good.
50%. Yeah, it's crazy. Now I remember the first when Trump was elected the first time between like 2016 to like 2018, 2019 thereabouts. Gas was less than half of that. It was like $1.85. So the fact it's more than doubled is very concerning, but it does make sense because people will be panic buying, seeing the war, the Strait of Hormuz being bombed by these wackos. That's like 20% of the world's oil comes through there. Now, granted, we did take Venezuela and we should be more or less self-sufficient, but I think it's more of the markets panicking. It all
like with
depends on
AI.
what they
Yes,
kinda like they do this on Twitter where like the president will make an announcement. Oh, okay, we have a peace deal, and then gas went from like 124 a barrel to like 81 in like a day. So that's nuts. Now it's probably going back up closer to 100. I don't know if it'll ever get down to like 75 again, but
yeah. Well, right now down here, like I think Noble I could probably attest that in dollary dues we deal with the proper units of measurements of liters and not gallons.
okay. So what is it for a liter of petrol there?
Well, right now it's I mean, in my stores I was seeing like $2.20.
At one
And if you
place,
did
I
the
saw it
math,
was $2.30.
yeah, around about the
That's
same.
$2.30.
Yeah.
Yeah, $1.02. So that would amount to about $1.50, $1.60 freedom bucks.
Okay, but a
And if you
liter
do
is
the
smaller
math,
than a gallon.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if you do the math, if you multiply it by to get liters to gallons, yeah, we're the ones who feel ripped off.
Well, how many liters are in a gallon? Is it like two and a half or something like that?
No, not two, three.
Okay.
3 point. The math is always confusing. It's like I never, no, it's either 3.26 or 3.8 or whatever.
Okay. So if you multiply 3.26 by what is it like $2? That would be what, like $6 a gallon, right?
Oh no, it's 3 point. To a US gallon, it's odd, like it's 3.7. But realistically, at the end of the day, if you math it out, you Americans have got it lucky. So there you go. Now, that said, yeah, not good times for
prices are
to go
do you think
around
like once
driving it. But go on.
do you think like once the war is over, it's gonna be going down to normal ish?
Ish, kind of, probably. That
Like I
depends
can't
on
say
how they handle their own energy situation.
it's just a bummer because like every time gas goes up, everything else goes up because people have to drive like trucks for all the supply.
And
everything.
people have to ship out stuff. Fuel, airplane fuel, boat fuel, etc. You name it. The rest just goes crazy. I can see. Well, that being on the cards. Now, that said, I think I've held off enough to say that we have things for this week, and so one of the things that we've got for this week is is a follow-up to something that we've been keeping our eyes on for the longest time.
We need a lawyer furry for this.
No. We don't need a lawyer furry. We need a lawyer full stop. No. Because if you had a lawyer furry, like, can you really imagine that? Like, what's he going to do? Show up in the courtroom with a fursuit on?
Well, no, I mean more when it comes to articles like this that we're going to talk about, because to be honest with you, sometimes understanding exactly how it works in the courtroom makes more sense versus just looking at it in an average sort of way.
Yeah, well, I mean, right? Like, it's almost as if you need a law degree just to understand half the stuff that goes on in the courtrooms. I get it.
Well, but 50% of that could also be just lived experience, because in this case, it's Pal World versus Pokemon and everything. So I'm pretty sure if it was a furry lawyer, they would have a lot of backhand knowledge of like just the topic in general. You know, it's not like there's some boomer who doesn't know anything about this game and like, oh well, according to copyright and blah. Like no, like they get like the whole situation on a much like deeper level.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Right?
So, like, the last thing that we want to follow up on, the latest update, if you haven't heard already, is that their summoned character to fight patent that they tried to monopolize over the games has been rejected by the US Patent Office.
Aha.
Right. But so
Let's
it's
see.
interestingly enough, it reads as if it's actually a non-final rejection, meaning Nintendo has 2 months to respond, or more if it chooses to, and they've rejected all the claims made in the patent, and of course, it essentially revokes the suit.
I see. So it says this follows USPTO Director John and the order for the patent to be re-examined. November of 2025, which is an extremely rare thing to happen. Off the 15,000 expired examinations requested in 1981, only 175 have been granted. Huh.
Yeah.
So they didn't really have good stats going into this to begin with. They kind of figured they would lose.
Yeah, I mean, like, the whole thing was actually just, if you have read all of that, you don't even have to read the claim to it. But again, Pokemon Suit was basically built with a flimsy foundation to begin with. Like if you really think about it.
Well, when Power World first came out, a lot of the Japanese fans were more of the position, you shouldn't be doing this to Nintendo. The West were more like, why is Nintendo being such a stick in the mud? Rah, rah, rah. Legally speaking, though, when it comes to the... Wait, well, this was the Pacific Law. Was this about the... I forget now. Blah. This news article was specifically about the fact that they lost the copyright claim, isn't it? The patent they tried to file?
Yeah, it's pretty much no, it's not lost. Yeah, it's more like the claims of their suit have been revoked, and so. But the thing is, I'm not even sure. Like, this is not a motion to dismiss the case. This is more like, like, they don't see that this is a valid thing. And the suit that Nintendo is pitching forward, isn't exactly going to hold up to scrutiny, which is what it sounds like.
Do you want to just like open the article again? I kind of wanted to see what the claims were that they were trying to fight for.
No, I don't think it's got claims about what the suit is. It's like, remember how Nintendo tried to patent the whole mechanic of catch a monster, and a whole lot of other patents too. Catch a monster,
right?
And release it, let it do battle for you, and a whole lot of stuff at gliding that forced Power World to bend over backwards, changing the mechanics just to so they wouldn't get sued.
Capturing and summoning and whatnot. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But like, you can't really patent an action like that, because any game could really do that. Whether or not they use Pokeballs specifically, I mean, it could be a Pokecube. They can tweak it a little bit.
And Nemo's got that one. Like, if they throw cards, it's legally distinct Pokeball. And so effectively, what this really means, like the long and short of the whole rejection to the patent, what it really means is that I'd say, you know, is that most games actually now have breathing space to build their game, running around this mechanic, even if it's not, even if it doesn't involve a legally distinct Pokeball. Like think your Final Fantasies and all of that do, that do summons that have, that
Okay.
functionally, work on the same gameplay mechanic, and yet, it's
Yeah, I'm
crazy
still
that
trying to get a
sorry,
grasp
sorry to
on
interrupt.
what
Go on.
happened here. Like, I'm not really sure where we're at right now. So Nintendo, they can't patent this kind of mechanic, or they can.
Well, they tried,
They can't.
but the whole suit
Yeah, they
about it,
tried.
like to try and monopolize all of it, is pretty much gone revoked.
Okay, so then that does open the door for more, like, I guess, indie games to kind of use similar mechanics when it comes
Right.
to summoning monsters
And it
or
and it means
creatures and
that
stuff like
big established players like Digimon, Final Fantasy, and all of that are not exact.
that.
Can
Mhm.
still keep doing what they do. Because they
Oh
they
yeah,
do
good.
things similarly but differently at the same time.
Yeah, I could
And so,
imagine if Nintendo actually won that suit, they could, like, it would it would affect a lot of different other
yeah,
games and stuff, and they could go after them
right,
too.
right, right, exactly. And they'd piss off a lot of their own fellow game studios by their own countrymen, of course. They'd piss off
Oh yeah.
Bandai Namco, Square Enix, and so forth and so forth.
The problem is Nintendo wanted to copyright something that has been used not just by them, but also by other people, other companies, sorry. And that doesn't fly very well because patenting something that other people have already done.
Well, it sounds shady, but it's possible to do, because if someone else had already done it before, but they didn't have a patent for it, and you get one later, technically you do kind of own the IP. Like legally, I guess.
It's been around for so long that it's more of a common trope versus something unique, which you can't
Right.
patent things that are common.
That's what the jury would think. Sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, you're right. Like, that's probably what they would think.
No, I mean, I kind of agree with you in that regard. That yeah, and of course, it just basically means that it's just going off. Like, where do you go from this? Because now, no, have you heard? Like to go on a bit of a sidetrack. Have you heard about any other news from Pokemon? Just as of where they're up to.
I've seen some things sort of pop up on my feeds, but I've never really read any of them. I'll be honest, I kind of lost interest in it. Anything new, just
So no, like, new generations coming out or anything, or they just stick
I
with what they
mean,
have right now.
apparently, of course, we've heard about the whole,
wind and wave.
Yes, Wind and Waves. That's what it has. And
two
the other
side
thing
games
is,
that
like,
have come out recently.
yeah, they've had some other little side games like Pokemon Champions and what have you, and so forth. But
All right.
we
How's
haven't really kept up because information is still a bit scarce at this point in time.
is Pal World still doing well? Like, are they? They're not losing
Yeah.
sales or anything.
No,
Right?
they're not
Like,
losing
they're still
sales.
going.
They're about ready to go for their official 1.0 launch. So
So
yeah.
this is good news for them. They don't have to rewrite everything and go bankrupt. Thankfully.
Mm-hmm. No, they don't have to rewrite anything. They're still gonna go. They're still doing the whole knockoff, Power Farm thing that they timed right. That trolled Pokemon.
Yeah, that's right. That was pretty good timing.
And of course now, and another game company I have just found out about this recently has wanted to go in and chase the Pal World bucks. You remember the Temtem, right? Like the game that many people that many years ago was touted as the Pokemon killer.
What was this?
Temtem.
There's also Yaku Watch.
Yeah, Yokai Watch was the original. That was,
Yokai,
and then they just got dingoed. But I guess that's kind of like, if you know your obscure history, you know. Now, Temtem have decided to do this thing called chase the Pal World box.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, if Palworld can get away with it, the similarities to other games, and I'm
Oh,
sure
they didn't get away with it.
off of
Though.
a knockoff.
They didn't. Carl
No, no,
didn't
no,
commit
no,
a
no,
crime. You're making it sound like they committed a crime.
no. I didn't mean that. No, I just meant being creative and tweaking
Yeah,
stuff.
no. I know what you mean. But yeah, here's the whole Temtem Pioneers thing.
Oh, right. Well, the graphics look great already.
Yeah. Let me just see if I can get the audio playing. If not, hang on. But yes, it's like it's this whole thing. So just gonna watch the trailer.
New adventures in the Temtem universe is blooming.
Well, there you go.
Well, to be honest with you, I
So
really wish something like Moncolly Knights would make a comeback, but they only had like one series.
Temtem looks promising. Now they do have some aspects of catching monsters and whatnot,
Yeah,
and it
with
seems like
those
something
legal,
like companion too.
with
But it's
those legal
marketed as more of
cards.
a,
Yes.
crafting and survival game, like a build your own world kind of situation. Pokemon games, I don't think they've ever done that before, right? Like you can build your own house and customize it.
Well,
Like
they're doing the whole
some,
thing with Pokopia, which is a Minecraft but with Pokemon.
Yeah, and Pal World did it better.
and how do you think Temtem's going to do? That seems like the whole deal.
It's like they're mixing whole things like with that and Nemo, the whole the little Chinese thingo game.
Oh, like a Chinese influenced, or like architecture wise, or
It's
just
like Chinese, the aesthetic, the anime
right.
aesthetic, thingo game like that. But I gotta say, now that the whole space is now filled in that, the competition is really just going up there. It's pretty crazy.
So long as they're making good games that people actually want to play and enjoy playing, and they can make money off it, then sure. Not be bogged down by these suits of, oh well, you're capturing monsters and making them fight. That's what we do, so you can't do that.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of goofy. A lot of other franchises do very similar things, but it seems like at least Palworld and Temtem, they're putting their own spin on things to make it more engaging.
Yeah, you actually play, fight your Pokemon, your Tems in real time. Swap them out, fight them in real time. It's pretty.
I have to ask this question, but who wants to see the Rubik's Cube company do their own variant of this?
Oh, wait, Rubik's Cube did something like? What do you mean?
No. I came up for some weird ass reason. Could you imagine a monster catching game where you have to use a Rubik's Cube?
Oh, maybe. And like every time like you change the faces of it, like it makes a different pattern. You can like summon different monsters. Yeah, that'd
I
be
was
cool.
more thinking each side's capable of holding one, so you got a limit to how many you can actually possess.
Oh, so sick. So
Can
like
you imagine?
then, like, oh, blue or white or whatever.
Yeah, like it's be something like the Battleship movie, where it's literally just using that for some weird ass reason for the whole idea behind the show, the game.
Okay. Well, that would be an interesting way to use that concept. I wonder if it would actually like in gameplay would it actually result in or involve like solving puzzles like a Rubik's Cube wise, because that would make it more interesting and like engaging, right?
Well, if you're a
Like in order
puzzles, if you're someone who likes puzzles, it could definitely. There's a lot you could do with it.
Yeah.
But no, an entire franchise based around the bloody Rubik's Cube.
Well, I'm sure it would be very popular with people on the spectrum. I'm only saying that as like a half joke because I'm sure they would make a lot of money off people like that. Like a puzzle-based summoning game. Isn't that kind of what Yu-Gi-Oh is? Like you have to build a deck and have all the interactions going on with each other.
Yu-Gi-Oh! There are two things for that. Duel Monsters is basically a card game. Duel Monsters, sorry, Duel. Like Magic the Gathering, something along that sort of emphasis. As for Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself, it was more of an anime and manga about a character who was supposed to be the king of games. That was the whole premise of it. It was supposed to introduce many different types of games. However, the moment the anime decided to go, let's bring in Dungeon Dice Monsters, everyone's like, bring back Duel Monsters! Where are the cards?
Dungeon Dice Monsters was pretty cool, actually. Like I like the concept behind it. That was the one where they had like the 3 heart points, or was that like the labyrinth?
Yeah, that was
game?
one. And then you had 3 dice, and then it pretty much created a maze, and you had and whatnot.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. Like it's a spin-off of the game itself. So I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Was that the first one to do this, like as a TV series? Because I haven't seen Magic the Gathering do something like that. They just consider it different formats. But I don't think Dungeon Dice Monsters is another format of Yu-Gi-Oh!
No,
It's like its own game.
separate game. It's a game within a game, even if you will.
So yeah, in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Universe, it was supposed to introduce many different types of games. However, fans were like, no, we want the cards. We must have the cards. Do not take the cards from us.
I want to summon my blue eyes, damn it.
That's it. Done.
I like when TV shows do that, like when they introduce like meta stuff, like an in-world game or in-world TV show that is like real to them, like the characters, and then it eventually ends up becoming real in like real life. That's cool.
Like it's just it's like it's spawned its own universe, all of its own.
yeah, totally.
So,
or like
what about the whole? How's things progressing with Nintendo and their attempt at copywriting, monster catching?
Again, like I said, to get back into the topic at hand, which we got just sidetracked away from, I'd say not great. I think it's kind of clear the writing is on the wall at this point. If it was, if it wasn't already, last year. So
this is kind of a breath of fresh air, right? Like a little of relief, because you would think that Nintendo, with its billions of dollars, maybe not billions, probably billions, would be able to get away with this and like monopolize everything.
Yeah, then you can't monopolize all of that and then block out the whole thing.
What surprised me the most about when this initially started off is how Japan turned around and said, yeah, you can't copyright that. And the Americans are like, oh, yeah, by all means, here you go. We'll approve this.
Yeah, lawsuit culture in America is quite different than the rest of the world. Like you can sue anyone over anything, and there's a whole market for that. I mean, my goodness.
The concern, however, and this is the important part, if they can't get it copyrighted in or get the patent approved in Japan, it doesn't matter. Where it truly matters is America. If they successfully doing that means that trying to export any other game to be produced or exported in other countries means that it's most likely going to fail miserably. So the entire world can't have Pokemon like games, but Japan can. Thank you, American legal system. But now, because it's looking like it's going to get completely rejected, which hopefully it will, people will be allowed to be a bit more creative with how they do monster catching. I still really want to see Rubik's Cube one though.
No, I'd say
Yeah,
they're gonna have to do something creative with the whole monster catching thing and the survival space. Now that in light of all
having
that.
to throw your balls at a damn creature to catch it is a bit. And I'm the one with the Pokemon icon.
Hold on, you missed a point. First, you have to beat the crap out of it, and then you capture it. That way, they're weak.
Not
and
always.
they can't fight. Well, sometimes. I mean, especially like the earlier seasons of Pokemon, like how they would actually capture them. They wouldn't just find them like in the forest all alone, like, oh, throw my Pokeball, capture them. No, like they would have to battle them. And once they like, oh, I defeated you, now you're mine. Like, okay.
If you play the mainstream games, you can technically just keep throwing Pokeballs at it until the Pokemon sort of gives up and remains in the ball, and you've got it without even laying a finger on it or a claw or blasting it with whatever energy power you have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but still, even at that point, like if you're the Pokemon, it's like been 50 balls thrown at me. It's like, all right, enough already. Jeez, this kid's not going to leave me alone. Fine, I'll go in your freaking Pokeballs. Stop.
Yeah, it's like you.
Yeah.
It just becomes a whole episode of like the Pokemon agreed to be captured out of spite.
Yeah, like enough already. I'm so done with you guys. Like, fuck it, whatever. Oh man. But it looks like at least the Temtem one, it looked like he was almost throwing something rectangular, like a card.
Yes.
Yeah. So that just adds other aspects of different games. Like it's all kind of an amalgamation of a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. It's they're doing the whole survival thing, of course. I mean, it's the first thing people say is like they're chasing the Power World box.
Well, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily. I'm sure there's some inspiration there.
Yeah, I mean, they did say like they're following the template of other survival games like Valheim and all of that. And right now I think people know that survival is in a very saturated space at the moment, and it's like it's because of Power World. But that said,
maybe not because of it, but it's definitely one of many that have been saturating the market.
Yeah, and even like the non-Power World ones still all the same. Like it's a big thing. Like it's now become like the popular game genre that that people want to get their hands into.
Well, a survival game with crafting and as well as capturing monsters. Yeah, that sounds pretty popular mainstream now. I think Subnautica was one of them. You're not capturing monsters.
What I find fascinating is that isekai and monster catching seem to be getting hammered lately when it comes to content.
Yeah, because that's the only thing they really could do, right?
Well, no, it's what's showing to be extremely popular at the moment. Well, for the time being.
I mean, right now it's one thing like to say that Power World really revitalized the whole thingy, and that people basically want there is basically a big opportunity for somebody to fill in the vacuum that Pokemon's how is in the currently how you doing state. So I guess there's that.
Well, if they kept the visuals and story up, they would have been fine. I mean, if they did another black and white, but unfortunately, apparently that's too much to ask.
I think, yeah, well, we'll just have to see what happens if, the next generation next year. But, you know what? I am not too fussed about it. Competition keeps is the spice of life after all.
Yeah, that's definitely important to have competition. Because trying to like patent a mechanic like this is pretty goofy, just like overall.
It's
It's not like
Nintendo. They're supposed to be a greedy
No, I know.
corporation.
I know. But and the fact that they actually lost this lawsuit is pretty surprising to me. Like I am shocked. I am shooketh. But that does open the door for other indie games to move forward with whatever they want to do. Similar enough where it's familiar, but tweak it enough where it's different. And I think that'll get more attention.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So we do have one other item, and we did say we're gonna backtrace to the whole thing with rainbows. We did
Yes.
yes, and so we are going to go through
LGBTQWSID.
with the bad and defiled sort of rainbow now. Here, Canadian MP brings in woke new MMIWG2S LGBTQQIA+ acronym.
Yes.
Hey, I thought it was supposed to be at the other end, and when are they going to start introducing wingdings?
During this, oh yeah, you're right. Like wind, like the font, yeah, all those wacky symbols. This, I thought this was like AI at first, and then it was like an SNL skit. No, this is real, guys. So this person, she said this acronym at least 5 or 6 times during. So let's just say, let's read what we have here. April 10th, from the Noticer, a far-left Canadian MP, member of Parliament, has introduced the world to a woke new acronym that includes homosexuals and dead Indigenous females. MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA plus.
Wait. Hold on. Wait, what?
Yeah,
Deceased
this is the new
Indigenous
acronym.
females?
Yeah, that's
Hang
what.
on.
Yes,
That's what it was. I don't think she's.
There are people LARPing as dead women.
Well, no, not quite. They're just bringing them into the fold because they're victims. So it says the 16 character acronym stands for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. Two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, and others on top of that. It is unclear why missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls was added to the homosexual grouping, while two-spirit is a controversial term used by some North American Indians, that's not true, who are confused about their gender. Yikes. So this person tried to use this, adding extra letters to the cause, basically about how murdered Indigenous people.
Just so I grasp what was said here. Is this somebody turning around and trying to use the dead and shove them into fetish material?
Yes, because they are victims as well. They are oppressed people, and they should be represented.
By
That's
who?
exactly what's by the leftist organizations who
it's just
want
by
to give
one person that seems to be thingoed.
Are you telling me that people are so insecure and they want to grab as many other groups and parties as they can that they're literally using people who have been dead for how many
years now? For goodness knows how many years. But that said, I think you just cannot go by with the reaction to this though. Like people have been calling the whole MMIWG soup thing a new internet password.
I'm sorry, my brain's having trouble processing this.
Yeah, most people did. I saw the entire 2-minute clip by this girl, and all I remember her saying was just WXYZ plus, and that was it. I don't care what she was talking about because it doesn't even look a sense.
Have they got like some kind of fetish with dead bodies or something? Or
No, it's not that. But
No. They're
that
trying to recognize this person is just trying to recognize that that the Native Canadian women who have gone missing or were or were
yeah, no,
killed
I
deserve to
understand the
go.
whole history behind that sort of stuff, but I'm just sort of a bit perplexed as to why a sexual fetish group needs to turn around and slap a bunch of extra characters in their
Hey! Remember what I keep telling you: do not interrupt them when they're making mistakes. Hey. Remember what I
yeah. And you thought the alphabet soup was worse before when they started adding TQIA plus to the LGB.
What about
But
the
now it's
pedophile
just
incident?
well, there's a lot of pedophile incidents when it comes to this particular group of people.
No, I mean when pedophiles literally tried to get in by calling themselves minor attracted persons for political reasons.
I think yep, that's where the M comes in. See, when it comes to that, I think there's an M in there somewhere, right? And they have two Qs. One of them is queer. One of them is questioning. What does that even mean? What? So your LGBWXYZ, whatever the crap algorithm or
Questioning is
acronym.
bi. That's it. You're
Questioning?
fucking bi. Deal with it.
Like what is that? A two-spirit? You know, two-spirit was created like in the 1960s as some goof by some white person to explain why Native Americans had guardian animals or whatever. It's not real. There's no such thing as two-spirit. That's not even a Native American thing. They're just
Yeah, see,
insulting.
for me, I'd be more interested as in the actual community itself, how they see the animals. That's more what I'd be more interested in listening to, not some dude's fantasy like Disney 2020. What was it called again? I'm still pissy about that movie because of how bad it was. Mulan, like the Mulan fantasy thing that got shut out.
Yeah,
Sorry,
spirits in there, right? Didn't one of them turn into a bird or something?
I don't know. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't stomach watching it.
Blame you. But this
So,
is
are
this is
you
goofy.
are you
The whole world
actually?
is making fun of them.
So, who in their right mind is going to directly represent dead people?
Oh, apparently this girl. I think she's a girl. I think she's a real woman. But
What
nowadays,
is this person's connection to? Well,
Oh,
when
she's
you
Native
see the
American.
word bloodline,
Native.
I've got to look. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
so-
try and look up what her thing is, like her ancestry and DNA.
Yeah,
Because
well,
I swear,
that's why
if
she's
she's
there.
just if she is just a white Canadian, like a la Elizabeth Warren, in the same vein, like she basically was laughing as an Indigenous Canadian, then yeah, why am I not?
Oh, so
surprised?
she's not a real Native? She was at least like native-born
That's
Canadian
what I'd
or
like
whatever.
to know first. Like see if we can backtrace her heritage because friggin'. I mean, you probably know, like, when I said just like Elizabeth Warren, who is basically just, white American with no trace of native blood in their ancestry, and she was just laughing as a native.
She was, yeah. Yeah, they called her Pocahontas. Trump is a great. But this person trying to introduce like this new acronym for some reason, I'm guessing she's probably a lesbian or bisexual at least. But to add extra letters for indigenous people to, as you said, Noble, the whole fetish thing, or like who you sleep with, the whole LGBT, gay stuff. Why would you add race to that? Like, what is this supposed to be? Is this like a different movement, or is it just so discombobulated where people's brains
I
fell
want
out?
to know. Okay, what I want to know is the most interesting question of all time right now regarding this. See, if they've added these letters, the next most logical step would be to make more additions to the all important flag.
Yes,
Oh,
the
no.
flag. Oh my goodness. There's been memes about this, like how the flag keeps on adding more colors and
Please
symbols
show
and all
me.
that stuff until it eventually becomes like a hodgepodge.
Please show
please
me.
do.
I have no idea if they've gone one there. Right now, this is hypothetical
Okay,
ground, because I
concept.
have not seen any updates to the flag. But what do you guys think? How are we going to fit MMIGS to the already convoluted flag?
Okay, here's an idea. Why not get a very active cat with paint?
A very
a full
active cat.
spell of- yeah, a hyperactive cat that's going full on zoomies with a good supply of different color of paints available. Just run all over the place.
Yeah, that would be perfect. It represents the whole. I've seen a lot of memes on this. Like the evolution of the pride flag, how it was just the rainbow, and then it was the rainbow with like the black, brown, and beige colors to represent like different races. I'm not sure what that has to do with sexuality. And then they added like the triangle on the side with like for like the trans or whatever, and then like the two-spirit for whatever that is. And it just keeps going. Like no matter how many times she says representation of the Q plus 16 characters, bro. What are you talking about? It's not the same movement. Oh, this is just goofy, man. Like, I can't believe this is real. I know I say that a lot, but really? Really? Oh, for Canada.
Reality is stranger than fiction.
I just keep questioning. Yeah. That's just, they added an extra Q to the algorithm. I keep saying that. Acronym. Another Q. Yeah, I'm questioning their sanity. Because originally, it was all supposed to be about what? Gay rights, right to be accepted, get married, not be discriminated against, etc., etc. Okay, that's all well and good. But when they started going after kids and flaunting all this stuff and then adding all these extra nonsense letters and numbers and crap to it, that's when people are starting to realize, okay, this is not normal. And most normal people don't support this kind of stuff, especially when it like affects policy and like day-to-day life and harms kids. Like that's a big problem.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about the harming kids at this point. It's more the idea of taking a bunch of dead people and throwing them into a sexual fetish organization. It seems a bit, wait, is organization the right way? No, cult, sorry.
Movement. Yeah, cult is the right word. You're right. It's gross. It's sick. Honestly. Murdered and missing. What the hell does that have to do with who you sleep with? Please enlighten me. I mean, like, what? They have to create some kind of like a fantasy world, like a boogeyman that they're fighting against. Because otherwise, it still doesn't make sense. But it makes even less sense.
No, it really fascinates me with how things progress with this whole alphabet mafia, just showing how irrelevant they are, or at least trying something to stand out. It just...
Right.
There's literally nothing they stand for, and yet they pretend to stand for everything. Well, what they feel is justified.
Because when they keep adding letters to their, I don't know, movement or whatever they're trying to do, if they keep including everything that has nothing to do with the other stuff, then what exactly do they stand for? Nothing. Like
whatever's relevant
what the heck
at the time.
Like, it's a make your own flag, okay? Make your own movement, I guess. Like if you're all concerned about indigenous peoples and rights and whatnot, okay, fine. You can make your own little flag and do your own little marches. But why are you adding it to the LGBT stuff? Like, what does that have to do with sexual fetishes? Like, you're right, Noble. 0. Murdered and missing indigenous. That's like, is that even a problem in Canada? I'm not sure. I'm not a Canadian.
Yeah, so there's a lot of history behind it. In Australia, it was decided that they were going to breed them out, which fucking ridiculous. And over in Canada, it was decided, yeah, we're just going to grab them, we're going to kill them, and we're just going to bury the bodies. It was...
Okay.
I'd say
Yeah,
this, it was rather disturbing to
Well-
learn about.
Yeah, the whole native row in Canada was a bit of a mess. Probably bit seems to be
I
like,
can
you know,
see
quite the understatement, but still.
I can see how people would be upset about the historical facts.
Yeah, but
Kind
my
of-
brain goes to throwing them into a sexual group of useless fuckwits is probably not the route I'd want to take, or I would
Yeah.
think would be even sane. I mean, what, you
Yeah.
gonna have people start laughing at them now or something?
It has nothing to do with anything. Like, well, why are you bringing race into the movement that's meant for sexuality?
Well,
That
the other thing
zero
is,
zero. Unless
you've
they're
got-
going for oppression.
you've got people who will change what title they fall themselves under, if that's what you want to call the individual groups in that massive soup. So what's going to happen when someone decides that they're going to throw themselves in as someone who's deceased?
I don't know. Somebody
At
would
this
just say they'll just
point,
come back as a zombie.
We've seen this before, actually. The whole LGBTQIAWXYZ. There's been more than one occasion where they tried to add letters just to support their own kind of niche movement, and they kind of tack it onto it, like ride the coattails of a much larger, rainbow alphabet mafia cult. So they're trying to include themselves into that. I don't think this is going to fly. Like, to be honest, this is not going to catch on. No one is going to say this or even remember all the nonsensical letters with the
Vera,
MMI. Blah, 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 blah.
the problem
They're
is
just
there are a
not.
lot of people who probably would go along with this, who are already sort of past the point where they could leave and keep their sanity.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, like, Canada can't be all crazy, right? There's got to be normal people out there who look at this and they think it's a joke.
Oh no,
Right?
I would strongly agree with you, but it would just depend on who's the loudest.
Yeah, well, they do tend to be loud. But loudest when it comes to changing opinions and minds. Not loudest as in like who can scream loudest into the microphone because I'm so oppressed and I'm a member of the MMIGW blah, blah, LGBT blah, blah, blah. It's word vomit at that point. Stop it. How many letters do they have to add? And what letters are they going to add next? Groomers, probably.
I can't wait till they
Minor
require a scroll in order to write all this down.
Yeah. No, I cannot wait to see how big of a flag they really will need. The more letters they put in, that's the natural reaction.
Oh man, I don't have the picture with me now, but I do have like a meme picture of like the progression of the pride flag of just how bonkers it got, how many crap they're adding to it till eventually it ends up looking like a mosaic, and it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, it won't mean anything anymore. It's just a colored mishmash of everything else that has
No, you would need a Quran-sized book in order to describe everything.
Oh, that's a good one too. Add another color for oppressed Muslims, for Palestine and Gaza and all that stuff. Sure, why not?
Christian
Queers for Palestine.
radicalists.
No. You would have to add a color for like everything that they support in the current year. Like you're right, Palestine, Gaza, Ukraine.
Oh, they did that, dude. I saw a pride flag, a pride flag with
No.
the blue and yellow, like Ukraine colors, on the side of it. So they're adding that too for their cause. I'm sorry, I didn't know all of Ukraine was gay. Weird to add that to their thing, but
No,
okay.
I saw this one. Makes sense. Ukraine is gay. You know that one song they did in Eurovision? It was hella gay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, no, no. Anywho, I guess let's just wait and see what they're gonna be how they're gonna evolve from that on, because at some point I think they can all sense that the letter F is going to be added to the alphabet soup, and it
Please
just
tell
stands
me
for
what that's
furry.
supposed to stand for. Oh, right. Yeah. What about all the
That's
subgroups?
T for Tyrion, O
Therians?
for Otherkin.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
Trekkies?
missing and most indigenous people. Why in the crap are you adding that to the gay flag? I mean,
Yeah.
you live in a
Oh,
weird world, but
seriously. Would Trekkies be under S or T?
T. But that debate is largely an academic thing because then again, they'll do it
Next,
even without the blessing of the Star Trek people.
next it'll be trans species Klingons. I'm sorry,
Exactly.
I can't talk right
how is this real?
Right.
I don't know, but I'll be
boy.
honest with you. I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot of people dying inside after they would have heard this speech because
No,
Oh,
I can be counted as one of the people who have died inside because of how cringe the whole MMI whatever is, and then some more. But to spare you from all of that, to spare you listeners from all that further cringe, it's a good time to wrap up the show. Yeah, so just you got a quick closing statement to wind this all up with.
oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, as I said earlier, I hope everyone had a very nice Easter. You spent time with your family, reflected on the sacrifice that Jesus Christ has done for all of us. When it comes to the Nintendo lawsuit, yeah, I am pretty glad that the whole patent thing was rejected, because that does open the door for other games to be more creative. Sure, they don't want to directly copy it, like the mechanics that they were fighting for, the whole Pokeball thing. But there's definitely a lot of games out there that already kind of do this, and it's fun and engaging, and that's what people like to play. So if you're able to be more creative and make some tweaks to it and still have that kind of audience like engagement or gamer engagement, that's totally fine with me. Like, that seems like a good thing for a lot of especially indie developers and stuff like that. And yeah, now I might not be straight, but I don't identify with the LGBTWXYZ rainbow cult. Apparently, there's more letters now, so now I got to memorize all the 16 characters, and also consider the indigenous people murdered. And it sucks that they were, but as part of the gay movement. Nah, man, sorry, I'm out. I can't go that far with all that nonsense. It's just goofy to me. And the fact you kept saying it over and over as if it was like a real thing that we should know about it didn't sound real to me. But that's where we are now. That's what liberalism does. It's like a virus. Hopefully they find a cure. Anyways, that's pretty much all I got. So
No.
It's always nice to have celebrations during the year and after the year. Easter was fun. It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
The Pokemon lawsuit thing was sorry. I love how it's going, and it's going to be fun to see Nintendo get their asses kicked. As for the Alphabet Mafia, I would have thought at least putting up some kind of museum would have been more in their sort of how to move forward. This, how to put it? I want to use the term ridiculous, but that just doesn't seem to hold the same weight as how I feel. I mean, screaming the F word at the top of my lungs, going off about what the hell do you think you're doing is more adamant to the way I want to respond, but probably can't do that. Shouldn't.
Well, that's what most normal people are feeling in their hearts. So I get you, man.
No, seriously, if you've got if you don't know or you've got some level of curiosity, go look it up. You know, I think Discovery Channel and maybe I don't think Natural Geographic did anything. I'm pretty sure Discovery did though. And maybe some of the other what's that facility in America? They basically study history. There's a whole institution for it.
The Smithsonian.
That's the one. I think they've also done something on it as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's horrific, but this is a weird level of coping, if that's what it's all about. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling now because it's just got my
I'd
fucking
say-
brain off.
I say about the same at this point before I get any further brain damage, cringe, and whatever have you. And for the rest of us too. So, with that said, it's a good time to wrap up, and thank you for tuning in to something that we made work as we always do. So, you can find our episodes on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, FM, Radio, BitChute, and more. Well, that's all we got for the week. Hope your Easter was great. Until next time.
Bye.